Hi, thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Miss Ravino. I teach science at Kingstone High School. I'm also one of the assistant heads here in charge of pastoral care, behaviour, safeguarding and the SENCO. I'm just going to talk you through some of the things that we do here in preparation for your children coming to us in year 6. I want to start by saying all children have within them the potential to be great kids, and it's our job to create a great world where this potential can flourish. And hopefully as we talk through, you can see the things that we've got in place at Kingstone to make this happen. So before your child comes to us, there'll be lots of prior preparation. We will be requesting specific information from the primary schools after we have been named as the school for your child, and then this allows us to start preparing all the transition materials. Some of the things that we will be able to do from that is look at what forms to place them in, look at their friendship groups, ones that may be positive or less positive, and prepare in advance. If your child has an EHCP, then we come out to the schools and visit and attend those annual reviews. From there as well, we will also have the opportunity to arrange any extra transition visits or meetings that might be required to make the transition as smooth as possible. We have in the past had SEN specific afternoons, usually in the summer term, for the children to come and meet the team, and also to have an opportunity to meet other children with SEND. On your arrival, these things will have been put in place, your forms will have been set up, we will have sent you information and hopefully photographs and all the different things about the form tutor. You will have been asked to sign the Homeschool Agreement, which looks at the values at Kingstone High School and the expectations of behaviour. So as parents, you would be asked to sign that. Your child also signs it along with your form tutor. In the first few weeks, as they come to us in September, they will do the PASS testing, which looks at their attitudes to learning and their emotional learning needs. And we also do dyslexia screening very early on, so it highlights any indicators of children that might possibly have arrived with us without those things being picked up. All children with SEND will then be assigned to a HLTA, and we endeavour to have an individual learning plan in place for them within the first half term, and that will help us identify any additional literacy or numeracy or emotional support that they may need. The pastoral team, you can see there's a picture there of Mrs. Seymour. She will be your key contact. She is the pastoral leader for year 7. You will also have a form tutor who is the first point of contact as well. Within the team, we have Mrs. Darcy, who works with the 8s and 9s, and we have Mrs. Swain, who works with the 10s and 11s. So as your child goes through the school, they will have different pastoral leads as they go through. We generally stick to the children staying with those, but we are a really close working team to support the transition and the children, and sometimes it might be that a different person would work better for them, so we are quite fluid with that opportunity for them. As well as having the pastoral lead, we also look at the social, emotional support that we can offer. We're very lucky here, we have a dedicated space which we call the Hub, which stands for Helping You Belong, and it's designed to be a quiet space for intervention and for any additional support that the children might need. So we buy in 1 day a week a counsellor from the CLD Trust. We have a school nurse on a different day also in the Hub area. We have Mrs. Seymour, who I just mentioned and showed you a photograph of. She is trained in ELSA, which is Emotional Literacy Support Assistant. We also have Mrs. Darcy runs the Stronger Minds group, which is where the children are encouraged to support themselves and be like a peer support. We also have Hope services which come into the school, which is linked to the hospice. The Hub is also an area where some of the SEN support takes place as well. So at Kingstone, all children on an EHCP will have in-class support, with the primary focus being on the core subjects, English, maths and science, but it might be that the need is needed in more practical subjects like DT and PE, so we would be guided by the EHCP on how to best deploy the staff. Typically, if we've identified that a child needs some interventions, we supply 2 hours per fortnight for those interventions, be it literacy or numeracy. This can be in place of them taking a language, but that is not always the decision that we take. It might be other areas because the child has an interest or wants to study that language. And if we remove them from a language in year 7, then it limits their possibilities of doing it later in school. So we would look and make a bespoke plan for each of our children. So literacy is covered in our interventions. We have dyslexia support groups, we have reading comprehension, we test and look at the reading ages and put in interventions in place to improve those. Alongside that, there's also numeracy interventions which take place down here in the hub as well, and again they would be timetabled into the child's day. We have specialist equipment that could be necessary to support their learning. Sometimes after we have done lots of work on handwriting and handwriting interventions, we make the decision that actually to use the laptop would be more beneficial for them, especially if we were looking at writing speeds and performances in their exams. Ultimately at GCSE, we need to have them with their set way of working. We have invested in quite a lot of reading pens, which does help a lot of children with their confidence and their ability to read in assessed situations. As we progress through from year 7, by year 9, we have embedded and made sure that we have the normal way of working established, ready for their route through to their GCSE. So we will have all of their examination provisions in place by the end of year 9. And then in the evenings, we want to offer a little bit more support to our students. So we, on a Tuesday evening, have a literacy support session. We have numeracy on a Wednesday, and Thursdays open as a homework club. So there's an opportunity for them to get any additional help or support they may need. It might be that it's not necessary, perhaps they need help with the homework, they just feel that perhaps they need help with organising their time and how best to tackle and prepare things. So that's open to our students to come. As they start to progress through into Key Stage 4, they will be making option choices in year 9, and sometimes the traditional option choices of taking more GCSEs are not always appropriate for our students, so we provide alternatives to those GCSEs. So for example, we run functional skills, which has got the literacy, the numeracy and the ICT components in that. We do the ASDAN award, so that gives us the flexibility to look at lots of different short courses. At the moment, we are exploring hospitality and catering and food-wise. We sometimes use these sessions as additional support. So they've chosen maybe 3 additional GCSEs, and rather than taking a 4th GCSE, we use that time down in the hub with one-to-one support to enable them better in the other 3 subjects, so they can perform as well as they can. And sometimes we do explore alternative provisions like Horizon, maybe work-based learning would be better for them. As I said, it depends on the needs of the individuals, and we try to bespoke our curriculum as much as possible. So finally, that's me returning to all children have within them the potential to be great kids. I hope you can see that at Kingstone we endeavour to support all the needs of our students, both pastorally and those with SEN. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.